Do you know how the United States was born? What if I told you that the world's most powerful nation started as just 13 small colonies along the eastern coast of North America? How did a group of settlers challenge the mighty British Empire and create a country that would eventually become a global superpower? This is a fascinating story of how the United States of America was born.
Chapter 1. The 13 Colonies.
In the 1600s and the early 1700s, Britain established 13 colonies in North America. These colonies stretched from present-day New Hampshire in the north to Georgia in the south. Although they were under British rule, the colonists enjoyed a large degree of self-government. They built farms, businesses, and communities while maintaining strong ties to Britain. Life wasn't always easy, but the colonies grew rapidly. By the mid-1700s, millions of people lived there, and many began to see themselves as different from those living in Britain. Few could have imagined that these colonies would one day form a new nation.
Chapter 2. The Tax Crisis.
The turning point came after the French and Indian War, which ended in 1763. Britain had won the war, but it was left with enormous debt. To recover its losses, the British government decided to tax the American colonies. First came the Stamp Act. Then, other taxes followed, including taxes on tea and imported goods. The colonists were furious. They argued that they had no representatives in the British Parliament and therefore could not be taxed by it. Their famous slogan became, "No taxation without representation." Protests spread across the colonies. Tensions between Britain and the colonists continued to grow.
Chapter 3. The Boston Tea Party.
One event changed everything. In December 1773, a group of colonists boarded British ships in Boston Harbor. Disguised as Native Americans, they dumped hundreds of jets of tea into the water. This protest became to be known as the Boston Tea Party. The British government was outraged. In response, Britain imposed harsh measures on the colonies, closing Boston Harbor and increasing control over colonial affairs. Instead of restoring order, these actions pushed the colonies closer to rebellion.
Chapter 4. The American Revolution.
In April 1775, fighting finally broke out. The American Revolutionary War had begun. The colonies organized an army under the leadership of George Washington. At first, defeating Britain seemed impossible. Britain possessed one of the strongest militaries in the world, but the colonists had determination, local support, and a growing desire for independence. Over the next several years, fierce battles were fought across North America. The conflict attracted international attention, and France eventually joined the war on the American side, providing critical support. This support would prove decisive.
Chapter 5. Independence declared.
While the war continued, colonial leaders gathered to make a historic decision. On July 1776, they adopted the Declaration of Independence. The document announced that the colonies were no longer part of British Empire. Instead, they were now free and independent states. Written primarily by Thomas Jefferson, the Declaration stated that all people possess certain natural rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It was one of the most influential political documents in the history. The United States of America had officially been born.
Conclusion.
The war continued until 1783, when Britain finally and formally recognized American independence. What began as a dispute over taxes had transformed into a revolution that changed the world forever. From 13 small colonies to a global superpower, the story of America's birth remains one of the history's most remarkable journeys. And it all started with a simple question: should people have the right to govern themselves? That question gave birth to a nation that would shape the future of the world. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more incredible stories from the history.